Should you buy MLB The Show 26? I feel like going into this week with early access coming up, a lot of people are asking this. So decided I would give you guys my thoughts as I have been watching all the feature premieres, seeing everything they've been talking about leading up into the game, all the advertisements. And I tend to have a pretty neutral opinion on a lot of these things. So I feel like I can keep bias out of this. And I'm going to give you guys the details and my final thoughts on whether you should buy MLB The Show 26 or not. But guys, we are going to be dropping daily content on MLB The Show 26 when the game comes out. So make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. A lot of good stuff coming. Promise. All right. So going into the MLB The Show 26 cycle, we had feature premieres by the devs of basically every type of mode and content coming out into the game. Now, when I'm recording this video, we still have not done the last feature premiere of live content that comes out right before the game drops on Friday for early access. So we don't know exact details for Diamond Dynasty content. We have a framework for Diamond Dynasty. We got a framework for franchise, framework for Road to the Show, gameplay, presentation, all that. So I'm going to start with gameplay. They added a couple things into gameplay here. I pulled up their feature premiere here. One of the things is known as big zone hitting. So it's almost like guess pitch in a way, but it's not. And it's not going to be as accurate as zone. But as you can see, you're kind of using that there and guessing like a general area of the zone. So it's like the PCI, but in terms of sections rather than moving the actual thing. It's not going to be as accurate. You're not going to have the potential to hit better, but you'll raise that floor a little bit, which is a good addition for the more casual players. Then they also have fixed zone hitting that they talked about here. So basically, when you move your PCI around, you know, if you let go of the stick, it always goes back to the center or wherever you put your anchor. Now you can do fixed zone hitting where it does not return to anything. When you let go of it, that's where it stops. So as you can see, it's almost like you can put it wherever you want and move it from there. And now with that comes PCI sensitivity. So you actually can get very, very like detailed with how fast you want that PCI to move. I'm trying to find where they show it here. I think it's right around here. So in zone, you get the PCI sensitivity bar and you can move that all over the place. Now I am noticing right now, there's not an actual like number associated with it. So I don't know how I'm going to talk about my PCI sensitivity. I don't even know if I'll really adjust it that much, but now you have the ability to, and they have dead zones for fixed zone hitting, which I think is dope. Customization. What's the word? Quality of life. That's what a lot of this game seems to be focused on. Now, they also added bear down pitching. So as you can see right here underneath the pitches, right here, you got a 1 in this. This is the bear down pitching. So essentially what it does is you use it and it zooms in and you can get more accurate with your pitch. So it even like shrinks the par region even more. So you can bear down in a big moment essentially, and you can earn them. So that is just a couple of the big gameplay additions. They also changed how fielding works this year. So you have your fielding rating and then your reaction rating is now broken down into directions. So like Xander Bogaerts here, for example, moves right way better than he moves left. And that'll show in his reactions when he has to react to a ball. They also talked about catcher pop time becoming a new thing that is super important. It's its own attribute now. And if better attribute, better rating, better animations. They added ABS in for the offline content like franchise and Road to the Show. And then also attribute wise, they have broken down the per nines for pitchers versus left and versus right. So now pitchers are going to have splits as well as hitters. I think that's super interesting. So like Garrett Crochet, clearly better versus left than right. Kind of nice. How is it that you're the only one streaming this in the moment? The game's not out. I'm just talking about the game, so I put myself in the directory for now. Is that his right or from the batter's POV? I believe it's the hitter. So versus a right-handed hitter. That's what it seems like to me. Maybe we'll get confirmation, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And then for co-op, the big changes are you can select a rotation order now. So like if you do one thing before, it was like for an inning and then you would rotate. Now you can rotate per plate appearance, 2 plate appearances, 3 plate appearances per out, per strikeout / inning, or per on base per inning. So those are the big gameplay updates. And also they added hitting depth of field, which I guess I could talk about briefly as well. Essentially, it blurs the background so you can focus on the pitcher, which I think is a big thing for those stadiums where there's something weird that's like making it so you can't see the ball very well. It blurs it and it'll stand out a little bit more now. Overall, gameplay wise, people ask this a lot. There isn't a lot of big changes. And I think that upset a lot of people, especially in terms of graphics. If you're looking for a whole new graphical experience compared to the previous MLB The Shows, you're not getting that. I'll just be frank with you. There are some other stuff that's new. They added some like quality of life stuff. They added some different ways to play in terms of like how you hit and how you pitch and stuff like that. But if you're looking for a brand new experience, you're not going to get that. It's baseball. It's the same graphics. There's just some quality of life updates when it comes to gameplay specifically. And that kind of goes along with the presentation as well. Outside of now, they have different broadcasters depending on the mode you're playing. So it's like the normal guys for, you know, the franchise, Road to the Show, all that. Jessica Mendoza is in Road to the Show, though. We'll get into that in a second. But then Diamond Dynasty, you have Roflo doing commentary now, adding some actual specific things that have to do with Diamond Dynasty. It gets you immersed in the mode a little bit more. I think that's cool. But in terms of gameplay and presentation, not a ton of big changes that are, I guess you could say, game changing. Now, Dave the Rave in the chat said they did send a survey regarding graphics, so they're at least hearing the community feedback now to know how the game plan for the future. Yes, they did send out a survey regarding gameplay. They'll get stuff from that. Who knows how long it's going to take them to actually implement, though. We don't know how like as far into the future, like, is it next game? Is it 3 years down the road? Who knows when that survey is actually meant to actually make a change. We will see, though. Now, Road to the Show, they made some changes. Not a ton, but some changes. Overall, it's a similar Road to the Show experience. From last year, you start in high school, you go to college, you get drafted, you go through the minors to the majors, but there's a couple extra things that add a little bit of immersion, and one thing that might actually get me to play the mode this year. And as a lot of you guys know, I am not a Road to the Show guy, but I'm thinking about it now. So first, the high school experience is longer. You play more games in high school trying to build up your potential, which is now going to go directly towards your draft rating. And you can go to the combine and go to the draft, or you can go to college. I am going to college because specifically they have the College World Series in the game now. As you can see here, it has all the branding. College World Series is actually in the game. Omaha. You got more colleges now. There's 19 different colleges you can choose from, and you can play through the actual bracket of the College World Series, the exact format, everything. And you could not only do it once your junior year, but you could also forego the draft again and go back for your senior year and play the College World Series again. And all this makes your potential go up. Higher potential you have, the better draft pick that you could be, and how fast you upgrade and all that. So I think that's super sick. And then the main reason I'm going to actually play the mode is now they have this thing. It's a game simulation system, but it's based on like the critical moments similar to franchise, which I personally absolutely love. Because a lot of you guys have watched my franchise series. We'll do critical moments and then play like 15 games down the road, a full game. But it's not game after game after game after game after game like Road to the Show is. And that's why I usually get checked out of the mode before I even make it to the majors. So I think that, along with a goal system that you have now that'll give you more things, and that'll inevitably lead you to an actual Hall of Fame ceremony, which is in the game now. You have long-term goals, short-term goals that you can apply, and that will help your Hall of Fame case or get you to the next level. And you actually can customize those goals once you get into the majors, which I think is sick. Road to the Show, I think, did get an improvement. It's not a massive game-changing improvement, but it is an improvement. And that's kind of a thing we're going to see a lot for the rest of the modes here in MLB The Show 26. They definitely listen, though. Shrinkage, stretch pitching. Yes, we will talk about that as well. Next is franchise. And as a avid franchise player of the last couple of years, I make a lot of content on franchise, mostly in the live streams while I do like stream chises and stuff like that. I'm a fan of the franchise changes this year. Nothing too crazy. It seems like they're just they're attacking one aspect of franchise each year. So we had like the draft. We've had free agency last year. This year it's trades. So they added a trade slot. No longer is it 3-player max trades. You can go up to 4. The trade hub looks even better. As you can see here at the top trade overview, you have rumors now, and there is some fog of war. Not all rumors are correct. Trade block, you have untouchables now, trade targets, positions, and you have pending trades. Trades are no longer instant accepts or declines. They can sit there. They can counter. They can block you if you send them enough bad trades. There is an actual there's an immersion aspect to this that also makes it so that the CPU is trying to screw you in the trade market too now. It's not the days of us screwing the CPU over and over and over again seem to be gone. You can have up to 20 untouchables. You can have up to 20 on the trade block. You can have 4 specific trade targets. There is a lot of work going into the trading hub, which I am personally a big fan of. I think just the fact that we're finally getting improvements to franchise, in my opinion, are great. Now, I will say in their examples during this feature premiere, they showed some bad trades, but I also question if that is due to the base rosters in MLB The Show usually don't get prospect values correct in terms of their potentials and all that. With the downloaded roster, I feel like it's gonna be a little better than it was. We'll test that logic for sure when I get a downloaded roster and we do a stream franchise. So come through if you guys want a little bit of an opinion on that. I have a breakdown on each of these modes also that is more in depth here on the channel. So if you want to know more about, say, franchise, there is a 47-minute video of me talking about franchise. So we'll make sure you guys look out for that. Same with Row the Show and all that. But overall franchise, I think it's a slight improvement. Again, nothing crazy, but the trading should be better. And last is Diamond Dynasty, what you'll see a lot of videos here on the channel about. They did not go into necessarily direct content, although they did do some. For example, as you can see on the screen here, Tulo is now in the game. They actually leaked it. They didn't mean to leak it when they did, so they kind of had to announce it. Tulo is a big legend now. I would think we know Pujols, likely a collection award. I think they actually showed that in this feature premiere. I would assume Tulo's one. I don't know. There aren't a lot of the giant names into the game. Like Felix, Pujols, Tulo seem to be a clear big 3 in terms of the legends they've announced right now, unless they're hiding someone else. But Tulo is going to be sick. A lot of people are excited about him. In terms of Diamond Dynasty, World Baseball Classic mini season now a thing, which is dope. So they actually have all of the full teams of each team for the World Baseball Classic. So all of those guys that weren't in MLB The Show are now as Diamond Dynasty cards. And you go into that, replace a team in the World Baseball Classic, and they have the whole format for it. The pool play, into the bracket play, into everything. And now they changed mini seasons. So for you guys that want to play offline, 9-inning games, up to 28 games, or you also can do 7 games of 3 innings, or mix and match that or whatever. I think that's sick for mini seasons. What am I forgetting here? They showed some World Baseball Classic rewards like a Travis Bazzana, a Kyle Teal, Okamoto, Murakami are in the game. They already showed them. They look great. All the stadiums from the World Baseball Classic are in there. The Tokyo Dome, the one in Puerto Rico that I'm forgetting its name. I think that's sick. The UI looks completely different. Trying to show the UI here. And then there's a very, very big aspect as well that they talk about, but I want to show the UI first. This is what the lineup screen looks like now. And when you get out of that, the UI has completely changed. I think it's much better than it was. It used to take a lot of clicks to get to a collection, or a lot of clicks to see where you are in the missions or the PXP grinding on your players. And it made it so much more quick, which I think is amazing. And then speaking of PXP, they have changed that a lot. Now you have mods. So for paralleling cards, level 1 you get +1 every attribute, up to level 5 where you get +5 to every attribute. Now you can earn mods, which actually change it a little bit. So for example, you have contact, power, fielding, speed. These are the primary things. So you could focus on contact rather than the normal parallel, and up the contact even more than the normal parallel would. And then other things would be a little less, but you could focus on contact for a player. And then there's also secondaries. So like if you get in the contact thing, contact and power, you'll get a bigger boost to contact and a little boost to power. And you earn that based on the PXP you earn, and also some hitting attributes or fielding attributes, or stealing bases for speed. This is going to help team building so much, because not only with captains, but now with mods, it's going to take away metas, or you're going to make theme teams be able to compete more with metas, which I think is huge for the game. Team building is like the biggest part of Diamond Dynasty. And I feel like when things get into metas, that's when Diamond Dynasty gets stale. So I think that's going to help a ton with the staleness of the mode, especially after a few weeks, which makes me very, very excited for it this year. I give Diamond Dynasty as of now like a mid to uppercase W. Now we'll find out more about live content this week, but as of now, I think that MLB The Show isn't a game-changing experience compared to previous ones. But in terms, if you're a Diamond Dynasty player, I think this one's going to be different enough that it should be a lot of fun. I think they fixed a lot of things that we had wrong before. And then also gameplay wise within Diamond Dynasty, they mentioned that they were going to have all pitchers pitch out of the stretch always to make the games go faster. They got rid of that, so we'll still have windups in the game. If you heard about that, don't worry. They got rid of that change. And also, the PCI shrinking on the sliders on higher difficulties. That makes it impossible to hit sliders. They got rid of it, which means hitting, I think, is going to be a lot more fun this year. I also think it's going to be a lot harder to get some outs, but we'll see how that goes. Overall, I am actually very excited for Diamond Dynasty. I am quite excited about franchise. I'm willing to try Row the Show. I think that MLB The Show 26, as of now, is worth the buy, but also it may not be if you're worried about the gameplay, the graphics, if you're just playing like regs and stuff like that. At that point, I probably wouldn't recommend the game. So it just depends what you do. I also want to say that when people go around asking streamers and YouTubers what they think about the game, should they get the game, is it worth getting the game? Worth is in the eye of the beholder. I don't know what the money compared to the time play ratio is for you, but I think if you're going to put some hours into this game for 70 bucks, I'd say that I would do it. I personally think it is worth it, but also if you're into it just for the experience of the presentation, the graphics, probably not worth it for that group specifically. But those are my thoughts, guys, going into the game. Very excited for later this week. I will be doing a marathon stream where I'm live for 6 days straight, starting on early access on Thursday night. So come through, hang out. Feel free to ask me any questions there, and we'll see you in the next one.